Hi everybody! So, this is my first fade. Yes, I am literally an invisible singer because you can't see my face. Because I'm not using a camera. I only have audio recording right now. But it's alright because you still get to hear my voice in real life. So, I wanted to make my first video about something that I don't think gets talked about enough in the singing community. But before we go into that, I have a little experiment I want to try. So basically, I'm going to take a piece of a song that I love. It's kind of an old song, but I still love it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same song and sing it in two totally different vocal styles. And you'll very easily see the differences. But what I want you to do is tell me in the comments which vocal style you liked better and why you like that better. And then I'm going to get into why I'm having you do that right after I do this little experiment. So what I'm going to call this little experiment is Crazy Vocalist versus Easy Vocalist. So the first style I'm going to sing in, which I call Crazy Vocalist, has all the crazy, like, embellishments and runs and all that crazy kind of stuff. And, you know, it just goes all out. So this is the first one, the Crazy Vocalist. Ready? Get closer now, softly whisper in my ear. Please take me away from here, away from all my... Whoopsie, sorry, had a minor issue with my throat there, but I'm ready. Okay, so, like I said, Crazy Vocalist, let's do that again. Get closer now, softly whisper in my ear. Please take me away from here, away from all my tears. It's not too late, now we're standing face to face. Heaven is the only place where you understand. Tell me, what do you want from me? Is this love in the first degree? Tell me why every time I feel your eyes all over me. Tell me, what do you want from me? Are you man enough to see that it's time to cross the line? Come on and set me free. So yeah, that was the Crazy Vocalist, and I had a little trouble with that one, mostly because I haven't sung like that in a very long time. I used to sing like that all the time, and I don't anymore. And I'll explain to you exactly why I don't do that anymore here in just a minute. But in the meantime, here's the Easy Vocalist. This will be a lot easier for me to do. You pretty much get the idea. So here's Easy Vocalist. Get closer now, softly whisper in my ear. Please take me away from here, away from all my tears. It's not too late, now we're standing face to face. Heaven is the only place. Would you understand? Just tell me, what do you want from me? Is this love in the first degree? Tell me why every time I feel your eyes all over me. Tell me, what do you want from me? Are you man enough to see that it's time to cross the line? Come on and set me free. Now see, there was a lot less stuff going on. There was a lot less, like, runs and embellishments and even less vibrato. Like, there was, like, total straight tone pretty much. So that's the main, like, difference between those two styles. It's like one has it all and the other one is just, like, so easy that I may even just call it the lazy vocalist. I'm not exactly lazy, but just, you know, just so different. And it's easier to listen to, I think. Okay, so, like I said, tell me in the comments which style you like better. Why did you like that one better? In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and just give you my opinion on which one I think is better. As you can tell, I did much better at the second one than the first. And, well, drum roll please. The second one is my favorite. And the reason for that is because, like, to me, way too many singers like to just embellish their little hearts out when they're singing, because to them, that's what makes them sound good, right? Everybody's like, oh, in order to be a good singer, you have to, like, be able to do all these crazy sounds, all these crazy runs. Like, you have to put all this vibrato in there. You gotta do all this crazy belting and stuff like that. But to me, that's not really the case. I actually like it a lot easier, and I think that more singers should do that. In fact, I think most singers don't do that because, well, they believe that, you know, in order to sound good and, you know, compete with all the other vocalists, everybody has to be like this crazy vocal gymnast to me. That's what I get out of, like, especially the singing competitions. Everybody that gets the gold buzzers or the biggest chair turns or whatever, or the biggest amount of applause, are the people that really like to go all out and do these crazy embellishments. They just embellish their little hearts out, almost to the point where, like, you don't really care about the lyrics anymore. You're just like, oh my gosh, this person's voice is so good. But here's the problem, I think. When you're doing that, when you're putting all these embellishments in there and you're going crazy with all your little sounds and stuff, and you're riffing it up and you're doing all that crazy stuff, it takes away from the meaning of the song. And it just doesn't really, the song doesn't really matter anymore because people are only focused on what you sing like, which it may sound good because you're impressing them, but it's when impression interferes with expression. You know what I mean? I think that the best songs to me are not, it's not about the impressive vocalists. And some of the vocalists that most vocalists to me are crazy vocal athletes, and they just go all out and they just overdo it. And as much as I love their music, you know, I feel like I can't really follow the story behind it. I can't really follow their message. I can't really follow their communication, which to me is what music is all about. It's a form of communication. Like, you know, singing, speaking, and, like, you know, any kind of, like, musical skill. Really, what it all comes down to is expressing yourself, communicating. But how can you do that when you're so focused on impressing your audience and, you know, just making your voice go all crazy? It's one thing if it's an instrument, because you're not trying to focus on lyrics, you just like the melodies, and, you know, you can embellish all you want with, like, a guitar or piano. I've seen many, you know, musicians do that, and I love it. I love it when somebody goes crazy with an instrument, but that's because the instrument is not singing lyrics. It's just playing the notes. But, like, your voice, on the other hand, has its own form of communication by being able to form words, you being able to talk, you being able to sing, rap, whatever you do, you know. It's just like, you know, if you want to be considered a powerful speaker, if you want more people to listen to, like, your speeches, you don't just yell every word out to them. Oh my gosh! You know, you don't just do that. You know, you don't just scream at them. That's not what, in any case, that actually turns off your listeners. But if somehow we get away with doing all these embellishments as singers, but really, to me, it's just the equivalent of if a professional speaker just yells at their audience all the time and just screams at them. you know, and it becomes uninteresting. It becomes a distraction. That's what it is when people do a lot of embellishments. Even just a little bit more than I think they should, it becomes a distraction. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw a little personal note out there. I've been a singer all my life. You know, I have. And when I really started getting into it, I was mimicking all the vocal gymnasts, if you will. I was mimicking all the crazy singers who could do all the fancy stuff, all the riffs and runs, and they could belt their faces off, and they had all this vibrato, and it sounded great, you know, and I tried to mimic those people all the time, and that was kind of my way of singing for the longest time. I was the crazy vocalist. I was one of those singers that just embellished their little hearts out, like I say, and after a while, I started to realize, like, how distracting that was to me. After a while, like, I would listen to other singers do it, and then, like, as I kind of got older and, like, more aware of, like, how important the meaning of a song is to me, I started to feel, like, distracted by all the embellishments, all the little crazy things, all those fancy things that all the singers do that I loved. And I still listen to them, but, you know, I'm a little more aware that I liked them not for the messages in their songs, but just for the ways they sang, because they impressed me very well. But I feel now that it kind of interfered with their communication a little bit. I'm not saying that they're not expressing themselves, because they are. I just can't really follow their message that well, because I'm so focused on how good they sound, you know. They sing so good that it doesn't really matter what they're singing about, and I don't really take anything from the lyrics of the song, which is kind of not good, because, you know, music is about communication to me, which is one of the reasons I never really liked, you know, like classical, like opera singing, all that, because you can't hear a dang word they're saying. At least I can't. I can't understand a word they're saying. Yet at the same time, I just think, you know, their voices are just so beautiful, because they're just, you know, holding those notes out. They got all that vibrato, and they're running up and down the scales like crazy. And, you know, I liked how they sing, but I could never follow the stories they were trying to tell, because their voices were so good that it got in the way. Like, they were too good for their own music, even. And, you know, I think that's why some singers don't really care about how good their lyrics are sometimes, especially nowadays. You know, I kind of think that the quality of, like, some of my favorite, you know, pop music and stuff has kind of gone down, because people don't really care what their songs mean these days. They just like the way the singer is singing it. That's really all they care about. You know what I mean? And I kind of had to stop being the crazy vocalist, because I realized, you know, I can sing a little heart out all I want, but I'm not going to get anywhere, because, like, I can't even follow my own story. Like, what am I really saying to the audience? Like, if I'm just going crazy, even if I do have good lyrics, like, will it really matter? Because all anyone's going to focus on is how good I sing it. It's going to be about my voice, not about the song. So I kind of had to make myself stop singing that way. And I kind of converted to, like, a much easier style that has way less of that, you know, and a lot of, you know, vocal coaches and stuff might tell you not to cut out your vibrato entirely, but I kind of have. As you could tell in that second style, I didn't have hardly any. And a lot of people probably think that it sounds harsh, but I don't think so. I don't think it makes you sound harsh as long as you use a pleasant tone when you're doing straight tone. As long as you kind of do it softly and you're not like belting it out, I don't think it sounds too harsh at all. And, you know, I don't think you need all those crazy riffs and runs and stuff to communicate. I just don't think you need all that, you know. Honestly, I think singers should really lighten up on all the embellishments they're doing, and I think we should focus more on just singing for the sake of communicating, for the sake of just singing alone, not, making it all about like how good we sound, just being with the song, just communicating what kind of message your song is telling, what kind of story you're telling in your song, what the meaning is, and kind of make it more about that, about what you're telling the audience, versus just, squealing at them, It's funny, because, we listen to all these singing competitions, and I'll talk more about those in another video, but, I think if the singing competitions that we hear on TV, I think they push us to want to, be a crazy vocalist all the time. And you almost never see an easy vocalist make it. At least, not very far into those shows, I have yet to see an easy vocalist on The Voice or Idol or AGT, you know what I mean? They just don't last long enough. Because everybody would rather hear the vocalist that can do all the sounds. They can do all the embellishments in the world, Like, honestly, how many times have you seen a more laid-back, easy pop vocalist, get into the finals on, like, The Voice or something? To me, they're gone, like, in the first few weeks, I don't even think they make it through the auditions, if they even exist. I honestly don't even hear them most of the time. I don't hear them at all, really, especially on The Voice, because The Voice is all about the crazy vocalist. You have to be, like, really wild. You have to be a wild child, essentially, and just squealing, and embellishing your little heart out. I keep saying it, but it's true. You know what I mean? And I think these talent shows place a little bit too much emphasis on that. And, too many of us would rather have the vocal gymnast over the vocalist who is really laid back and, focuses more on expression and not so much on the licks and trills. But anyway, that's my opinion on that, So, I want to know what your opinion is now. Would you rather have the crazy vocalist or the easy vocalist? And, which one would you rather have? And if you do think, singers should lighten up a bit and, not go crazy all the time and, focus a little bit more on the lyrics, let me know. Share with me. I want to know. How do you feel about these things? If you agree with me, that's great. If you disagree, that's also fine. Just be honest with me, So anyways, that's it for this video, you guys. If you like what you heard, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Talk to you later. Keep singing, you guys.